Okay, we will start in some few minutes. We will be starting in 1 minute at 7:10. Hello. Uh, Good evening, everyone, and a warm welcome to you all. Hope you all are doing good. Myself, Safir Rahman, the host of today's event. Most of us had a knack for hacking. Hacking is the practice of altering the features of a system to accomplish a goal which is not in scope of the purpose of its creation. Today's session is learn to hack using CTFs. CTF means capture the flag. In computer society, it is an exercise in which flags are secretly hidden in purposefully vulnerable programs or websites, and competitors steal flags either from other competitors or from the organizers. Now, I would like to invite my co-host Sazia Fatima to introduce our speaker. Over to you, Sazia.
Thank you, Saif. Good evening, everyone. Myself, Shazia Fatima. I would like to introduce the speaker of our today's event, Mr. Muhammad Naki Ansari, who is going to talk about how to hack using CTFs. He is a student mentor at Offensive Security. He has worked as an exploit developer and a UGC author at Offensive Security and as a security researcher at Sanak Red Team. He is also an avid cybersecurity competitor, securing the first position in Hack the Box Battlegrounds Tournament 2 and was the first runner up in Hack the Box Battlegrounds Tournament 1 and 4. Now, I would like to welcome Mr. Muhammad Naki Ansari to speak on Capture the Flag Hacking through his presentation. Before that, it's requested to all the participants to mute yourselves during the session, and you can write all your queries in the chat box, which will be discussed at the end of the event. Over to you, Mr. Mohammed.
Greetings, everyone. Thanks a lot for the introduction. So I'll be sharing my presentation now. Okay. Okay, so today I'll be presenting a talk on learning hacking through capture the flag competitions. So first we'll begin with the who am I. So I'm a student mentor at Offensive Security, and I'm a SINAC Red team member. And I also enjoy playing CTFs, and I'm currently also pursuing computer science at Mumbai University. And finally, I love studying Windows and Active Directory exploitation. So the agenda for today is first, what are capture the flags competitions? And then we'll be covering like where to begin, as there are a lot of platforms out there. So it will be hard for a beginner to pick the right one for them. And third is how to approach these CTFs. And finally, we'll have a Q&A. So first we'll start with what are CTFs. So CTFs are basically capture the flag is a gamified computer security competitions where players solve cybersecurity related challenges to gain points. And the most famous types of categories are the following, like the Jeopardy style CTFs. Like these are the most popular kind of CTFs, which involve solving a set of tasks from varying categories, such as web exploitation, which involves the exploitation of a web application, reverse engineering, where you might have to like reverse engineer a logic of a Linux application, and you have to like find the flag through this, and then cryptography and etc. And the second category, which is my favorite, attack and defense CTF. In these CTFs, there are multiple teams, and each team have a appointed server which has running services on it, and each team must defend and exploit other their opponent's machine at the same time. And the other thing, like, why do we even use CTFs? We all know that reading just theory makes learning boring. So I believe in like you learn by doing. So, and CTFs also help you develop autodidactic learning, which is basically learning things on our own without any mentoring or guidance of others. And there are also companies in India which are employing cybersecurity enthusiasts through CTFs. For example, there's TCS hosts HackQuest competition, which is a CTF. And yeah, next we have like where to begin, like what platforms are there. So I'll be sharing my screen. So just a okay. So the platform that I've mostly used during my cybersecurity journey is Hack the Box. So Hack the Box is a massive online cybersecurity training platform which allows individuals, companies, universities, and all kinds of organizations around the world to level up their hacking skills. So they offer various labs. So there are various fields in cybersecurity, such as penetration testing. So they have machines which involve different types of vulnerabilities that you have to exploit to gain low privilege access, and then escalate your privileges on the system to get the highest privilege on the system. And next they have challenges, which are these Jeopardy type CTF. So they have categories of hardware hacking, crypto, which is cryptography, pawn, which is like binary exploitation, and they have mobile hacking, reverse engineering, and they have various other categories. So today I'll also be demonstrating an easy web challenge, which is related to SQL injections. Let's go here. So basically you go to the challenge, you start the instance, just copy the IP. There we go. So let's take this CTF challenge, for example. We have a simple sign-in form. If we try to log in with anything, say admin. So we are unable to log. We get an error, must learn to think outside the box. So let's view the source code. So in the source code, we are given, we can see an SQL query over here, and we can see a slash debug. So basically, some of the challenges, they provide you the source code of the challenge, and sometimes there's no source code provided. So you'll have to manipulate the database. Sorry for that disturbance. So we have the source code. So now we'll start by analyzing the source code. So basically, this is the source code of the application that Hack the Box has provided. So we'll focus on the login function. So when a login request is made, so they have the following SQL query where the simply concatenating our user input, which is like the username and password, which makes this vulnerable to an SQL injection attack. So in an SQL injection, let's say, let me create a new file. So we have the following query: select from username and password is equals to S. So let's say the username we were to enter was admin, and we close the quotes. So the following query will become select from users where username is equals to. So concatenates admin and then adds an extra quote. So the one of the quotes, there's an extra quote. So there, if we try this on the application, let's see. So if we try admin, it should error out. Okay, so we get an error, SQL error, which is because our query is incorrect. So as we've added an extra code, we can see the error. So now to abuse this vulnerability, so this query must return, the user must be admin, and the login should be successful, and it will read the flag out. So to exploit this, you must know like the basics of SQL, like how the queries are built. So if we do admin, let's say if we were to insert the following username admin or 1 = 1 and then commenting out. So what this does is if we go into this following query, we've added an extra code, and after this code we are doing or 1 = 1 1. So what this does is when this is executed, when this query is executed, it checks whether the username is admin or 1 = 1. So both of these values will return true. So the query will return a true, and we will be able to log in. And these are used to like comment out the extra part of the query, as we still have this part. So if we were not to use the comment syntax, it would not work. So admin or 1 = 1 admin. So now that prints out the flag. Now we can use this flag. We can submit the flag. That's all. So this was just an easy web challenge example. So they also have, so there are different types of challenges on this website. There are active challenges and retired challenges. So I can't like demonstrate a walkthrough of an active challenge as it's against the rules. But also to get access to retired challenges, you'll have to get a subscription of VIP or VIP Plus. But I wouldn't actually recommend it as you're starting out. First, you should like invest your time in doing active challenges, and there are also starting point which will help you learn the basic of penetration testing. Next, so this was the Hack the Box platform. Now we have to do the Jeopardy style CTFs. So the ctftime.org, which is basically a platform from the CTF community for the CTF community. So to find a CTF, you basically go to upcoming, and you'll find a list of CTF events. So now how to pick the right CTF for you. So you'll see the weight over here. So the weight is really important. So the 0 weight means that this CTF is really new and the difficulty won't be that hard. And the higher the weight, that means like they've done events before which have been successful. And the higher the weight will be, the more difficult it will be. So but you shouldn't like get demotivated by from the harder CTFs. Like you should participate in most of them, because as harder the easier CTFs, you won't get to learn much, to be honest, because in beginner CTFs, like they keep it really easy, and most of the times the vulnerabilities they demonstrate are like unrealistic. So I would, if you were to like participate, I would suggest you participate in CTFs that have a weight that are not actually zero. And now, like how to approach these CTFs. Like in the beginning, I'm sure like you won't have much knowledge, and you will definitely fail while solving the challenges. So let's say we were to participate in this Space Hero CTF, and it was to start on 1st April to 3rd April. So it's a 2-day long CTF. So when the event starts, you won't be able to like ask for help on the challenge from. So they also have a Discord server where you can talk with uh, the people who are hosting the CTF and other participants. So if you were to participate in this, you would basically spend 2 days trying to solve a challenge. They will have like various categories of challenges, and you would like attempt. If it was up to you, you would like if you were to, let's say if you were to solve web challenges, so you'll spend all your time doing web, and most likely you will fail. So now like how do you approach this? So once the event ends, people will actually create write-ups and walkthroughs for the challenges. So you can go and read those walkthroughs to see where you went wrong in your approach. And if you were to see the same attack vector in another CTF, you will know like what to do. Also, whenever like doing a challenge or whatever, if you're doing related to cybersecurity, you should always make notes, and you should also like write blogs to like spread your knowledge to others. And the most important part, like when playing CTFs or doing anything cybersecurity related, doing it alone can make it boring. And I personally recommend like you should go to you should create a Discord account and join the cybersecurity communities out there. There are a lot of communities that you can join, meet CTF players, make your own CTF team, and participate in these events. Because doing it with friends will make it a lot more fun, and you will learn a lot more through collaboration when you're sharing each other's knowledges. And yeah, and also there's one more platform. So if you're like completely new, you don't have any Linux experience or networking experience or web exploitation, Over the Wire platform is for you. So there's an Over the Wire. They have different war games. These are basically, I wouldn't call it a CTF, but it would help you like learn stuff. So the Bandit War Game is basically to learn Linux command line. So they have different levels, which where they basically teach you some stuff. They give you hints like commands you may need to solve this level, and you will basically have to do your own research about the command, like how to use it. And yeah, so that's the Bandit War Game. And they have different war games, like they have Natas, which is for web. Yeah, this is for web security. So you can do all these are like hosted on their own. You don't need to like connect to a VPN or something. You can like directly access. Let's say it's asking for password, username and password. So this was the third platform that you should look into. And other than that, there's not much I can share. We can start the Q&A if you guys want.
Thank you for your presentation. And now it's time for question and answers. So those who have questions, just put it in the chat box. I will speak it out.
I have one question. So, what will be the first step to start in cybersecurity? I mean, any particular lecture to watch?
Okay, so if you were to like start in cybersecurity, like if you don't have any prior experience in like computer science or like Linux operating systems, there are a lot of like guides, and you can find videos on YouTube like how to get started. But I wouldn't actually recommend them, as most of the times they would just like throw knowledge at you, and but you won't know like how to apply it. So that's why I've recommended you. If I were you, I would like go to the Over the Wire war games that I demonstrated, which had like Linux challenges and challenges require like for web security. I would recommend that. And after you've done those, you can go on to like Hack the Box platform and start participating in CTFs.
Okay, thank you so much.
Like what kind of skills are kind of like prerequisites to starting to hacking? Like maybe you could discuss those.
uh, I wouldn't say like there are any prerequisites. The most important skill that I would consider is that the ability to like learn something yourself, the ability to research it. Like what makes you a great hacker isn't like having a lot of knowledge of attacks, but the ability to like research stuff on your own and learn it, and the ability to like learn it on your own. So if you were to like start, let's say, penetration testing, so you should have like a strong foundational of Linux systems, web applications. So you must know like web application attacks. And yeah, other than that, I would just suggest that you just dive into it and start solving challenges. And if you get stuck there in the communities, you can ask for helps. They will give you hints, and some might even provide you guidance on it.
Can you please recommend us resources?
Reach, you are not audible.
Can you please recommend us some resources to learn?
Regarding
Okay,
what?
he's asking about resources. So, what?
Okay, so I have a list of resources.
Please
Not
type
sure
it
if I
in the
can like
chat box.
say
If
it here.
uh,
Okay, I'll give the list. Just a sec.
he's asking that can you recommend some of the resources? I think he's saying about for hacking. He's a beginner. For beginner, what are the resources that we can opt to?
He's sharing a list of resources. I think that is he went out for searching for it.
Okay.
There are a lot more resources that you can find. I would suggest like you go to Google and search for like resources for like cybersecurity, and there you'll find a lot of GitHub repositories where they have a list of resources for. Let's take an example of web exploitation. So they'll have list of resources to study web attacks, and there'll be like other resources for like reverse engineering and binary exploitation.
Like what's binary exploitation? Maybe you can define the terms that you're using.
Hello.
Okay, so there's a question on like reverse engineering. Okay, so in a reverse engineering challenge, you're provided a Linux binary, let's say, and it prompts you for a, like a password, and there's no way to like find the password like with just like interacting with the application. So if it is a Linux binary, there are like disassemblers that you can use. An example of a disassembler would be like IDA, Ghidra, where you disassemble the binary code and you get the assembly code. By analyzing the assembly code, you reverse engineer basically the how the application works, and like you can see the assembly opcodes, and through that you can like find the password and then like enter the password and get the flag. So that's just an easy example. Like there are a lot harder challenges out there.
Any more doubts? Please write it in the chat box. Please feel free to ask anything.
If you have any other questions or like you require a little bit more mentoring, you can reach out to me on Discord or Twitter. I'll provide my Discord in chat.
One question is there. Which language you prefer as a beginner in hacking?
So personally, I use like let's say there was a web exploitation challenge and you had to automate it. I would use Python because the syntax is obviously easy and it gets the work done. Well, there isn't like a specific language which you have to use. You can use like any language that gets the job done. Well, cybersecurity isn't about like the destination or like how to calculate the time, but it's about the journey. So it's hard to like calculate the time, like how long will it take you to reach a certain level. I would just say like you just start now and make sure to like keep enjoying it. You don't take it like a as a core or like you're studying something. So I would just say like just start. Don't think about the destination for now. Okay, so another question. Is web exploitation and
Uh,
hacking mean same? Well, hacking contains a lot of fields. So there is web exploitation, which is one of the categories that falls under hacking, which involves the exploitation of a web application. And there are other fields as well for like example, binary exploitation, which involves like exploiting binaries like buffer overflows, and that gets really complex. To be honest, if you're a beginner, I would suggest like you start with web exploitation. But if you have a lot more computer science environment, you could start into binary exploitation.
Is it necessary to be a graduate engineer to enter into a cybersecurity field, or any professionals can start into a cybersecurity field? So just give us a brief idea how to enter into cybersecurity field.
Okay, so in India, what I've seen so far is that companies ask for certifications, and like majority of the big companies, they are also asking for like bachelor's degree, which is like really sad thing to see, like how they're valuing these bachelor these degrees over like experience and skills. So there are like various certifications out there. Majority of the companies I've seen so far ask for like OSCP, which is like offensive security certified professional. So they have so it's a they basically have a course where they teach you stuff, and they also provide you labs to where you can like apply that knowledge and learn more stuff through it. And then to attain the to achieve the certification, you'll have to go through a 24-hour long exam where you'll have to basically exploit 5 machines. And to pass the exam, you'll also have to like write a pen testing report of the machines that you exploited. And once your lab report is graded, if your points are like above 75 out of 100, you've passed the exam. And other than that, also like the companies I've seen in Europe and the HRs I've talked, they don't like really value degrees, but they respect experience and certifications.
So you're saying any professionals, any graduates or any non-graduate can enter into a cybersecurity field, and by practice they can learn, and then get the certificate, and they are ready to just take up a job in any corporate industry. Is it like that?
Yeah. So I've had a lot of friends that came from like commerce environment, or they didn't have any degrees at all, and they started doing like capture the flags tournament, and then further they kept doing them, and after that they got their certifications and started applying, and finally they got a job.
So again, my question is, I mean, like as I noticed, there are a lot of students here. So still, I'm also a little confused because I'm not able to understand how to start actually to enter into a cybersecurity fields. Like if you can start, I mean, you can explain a little bit basic about it because like your presentation mostly at a higher level, and which is we are, I think most of us here are beginner. So you just give us a career path, basically learning path, like from where to start, like what are the platform which you have told us, like I mean these are all very detailed, like, because you are working into it. So but you just let us know from the very beginning, if a new person how they have to start into the cybersecurity field.
Okay, so if I were to guide someone to like how to start, I would like ask them to first study the fundamentals through like let's say I'll ask them to first install a Linux operating system and mm, keep using it for like as a daily driver so they understand how Linux operating systems work, as currently like majority of us are using Windows. So if you're like doing web exploitation and stuff, and majority of like the hacking tools are built for like Linux systems, but yeah, they can also work on Windows operating system. So personally, I'll talk about my journey because I know like how I started out. So I just went on like Udemy and stuff and found some like cybersecurity related courses, and from there I understood like I studied some fundamentals, and I was also like introduced hack the box through that course. So after like doing completing the course, I moved on to like Discord. I met some friends, and I started playing CTFs with them. So the starting point for like any beginner should be like CTFs after they've studied the fundamentals. So to study the fundamentals, there are plenty of the resources I listed out. Like there is Pico CTF, which is like really famous, which is hosted by a university in US, which is mainly directed at like university students and beginners. So I would suggest like a beginner to do that CTF. And other than that, so there's not a proper path to like study something. Everyone has their own way of learning. So you have to like determine your own path, but a starting point can be introduced. Like I've introduced you to the platforms that you can start with, and like how to approach challenges. And you shouldn't get demotivated like if you're not able to solve a challenge. It is normal that you're not able to do it. Okay, which Udemy course did you take? Okay, wait. Certification like OSCP. Yeah, in India, like they consider OSCP and CISSP as a milestone, and after like, and we need to push higher. Mm, I haven't like seen other postings where they've asked for like other certs. If you're going for like a red team position, which involves like exploitation of Active Directory and evading EDRs and like Windows Defender, for example, and antiviruses. So there are like other certifications for that. So the same company that offers OSCP, they have OSEP, and there are also like other vendors out there that provide training for there's a UK company known as Red Team Zero Team Security, which offers CRTO, which is directed at like red team purposes. But if you were to start, you could set I personally set my goal as OSCP. So after I completed my OSCP, I started applying into companies and eventually got a job. So there are if you go out there and start researching like a path, let's say let's say there's a path, but you I'm sure like nobody will be able to like follow the exact same path, as they'll probably get bored and try different stuff. Okay, which Udemy course did you took? I don't really remember what course what is. uh do you prefer Kali Linux or Parrot OS? Well, the operating system doesn't really matter, but yeah, Kali Linux and Parrot OS, they come with like pre-installed tools, so it can save a beginner a lot of time. I personally prefer Kali Linux because of the interface. And yeah, are there any more questions?
Any more questions you have? You can simply unmute yourself and ask, or you can write in the chat box.
मुझे एक क्वेश्चन पूछना था। हेलो, आवाज आ रही है मेरी?
Any more questions?
हेलो,
Yeah, Arij, you can write your query in the chat box.
तो लंबा सा क्वेश्चन है, मुझे पूछना पड़ेगा।
Okay, you can.
यूट्यूब में मैंने एक कोर्स लिया था, लेकिन उस पे वो सब टूल्स यूज करना सिखाते हैं जो कभी चलते थे कभी नहीं चलते थे, तो फिर क्या मतलब वो कोर्स करने का फायदा है उससे? कोई
Yeah, the problems with like majority of courses out there, they basically teach you to be a script kiddie, like just running tools and hacking stuff. But as a hacker, you need to be like curious. Even if you're using a tool, you should know like how is it working. You should review its source code. So that's where like the your programming background comes into place. So even having a strong background environment can be a big advantage if you're starting out in this field. So if you're looking for a good course, like yeah, courses can provide you a more structured manner and can save you time rather than like going out there and researching on your own. And as a beginner, you'll get a lot of confusing resources. So if you were to find a good course, you should make sure that they don't focus a lot more on tooling, but rather the vulnerabilities that they're teaching. Which course did you use? As I said earlier, I don't remember what was it, as I did it like 2 years ago. But I wouldn't say like that course helped me get started. I think it was my background that I've been using computers from a long time, and I was into like game hacking stuff. So I think that background helped me a lot more than the course. The course just got me started to the Hack the Box platform. Any good course that you know of? Yeah, Hack the Box also has like a academy platform where they have courses. I'll show it to you guys. Just a moment. Okay, this is the academy platform which like Hack the Box has, which is like focused on for beginners and stuff. So they have modules. Let me just show the modules. So of course it's not completely free, but the tier 0 modules are free. So when you create an account, you'll have like 10 cubes. I have like 486. So when you have the 10 cubes, let's say you were to unlock this module. So after like unlocking this module, unlock for 10. So they have like way of thinking, like this is a learning process module where they teach you stuff. So once you've like completed this module, you'll get those 10 cubes that you invested into this module back. And after completing that, you'll get the 10 cubes back. So you can start another tier 0 module and keep repeating the same process until you've completed all the tier 0 modules. So that's a thing that I would recommend for like beginners. So they have like hacking WordPress, Linux fundamentals, network emulation with Nmap. So like all this stuff can be done on like academy platform. And if you have the money to invest, you can also there's also student discounts that you can get from Hack the Box. So they have like different plans, but for students you get a lot more discount here. You have to like just pay like $8 per month and you get access to like all modules up to like tier 2. So that's the so if I were you, I would like begin with this platform.
Anybody else wants to ask? Any query you have?
Yeah, there is. Is cloud security a bit different from ethical? I haven't like really studied much about cloud security, so unfortunately I can't answer that question. Okay, you can join Hack the Box Discord server and then search for his ID. Oh, wait, yeah, I need to enable friend requests, my bad. Okay, you can try now, Harish. Does anyone have any more questions? They probably want the link to Hack the Box Discord.
It's the last call for the queries. Anyone having any query? Okay, I think no one has any questions. So now we have reached the end of this informative session. I'd like to convey deep regards and hearty thanks to the speaker of our event, Mr. Mohammad Naki Ansari, who dedicated his time to us and made this event thoughtful and shared his valuable knowledge. Thank you each and everyone present here for supporting our event by attending and contributing. Before leaving, I would like all the attendees to fill out the feedback form given in the chat box. Thank you all for joining us. Have a blessed evening.
Thanks a lot, everyone.